Yes, we're back, guys. We're back. We are back, guys. You walk in, please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember, we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time, like always. Thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio. Akeem Jordan, what's cracking like? What's cracking like? What's cracking like?
Hey man, just maintaining. We back at it again.
Yeah, absolutely. We good. We here. We about to get in as always, as we always do. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Like always, shout out to everybody who's watching us all across the board: Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and also Twitch. Guys, make sure you follow. It's so very important for you guys to follow so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to those right now watching us on Rumble and also X. Shout out to those also watching us on TikTok and also Bingo Live. So going ahead, we're moving on to sports. Jordan, what's going on when that coming to aspect of sports, big dog?
Let's get into it. Let's talk about some basketball. Let's talk about the New York Knicks. So New York Knicks has been searching a while for the head coach because they let go Tom Thibodeau. But late last week, they finally got their coach Mike Brown. He used to coach for the Sacramento Kings and also the Cleveland Cavaliers and also the Los Angeles Lakers. So they think he will be the guy that will take it to the next level, possibly take it to the finals and win the championship. So go ahead. We do have a clip, Hakeem. So go ahead and play the clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Be the new man in charge, taking over for Tom Thibodeau, who was fired after the Eastern Conference Finals. Otis Livingston joins me now to break it all down. So, is this a bold hire or a safe choice?
I wouldn't say either bold or safe. I would say it's a good hire because Mike Brown certainly comes with the credentials. He served on the bench as an assistant coach to Greg Popovich with the Spurs, Steve Kerr with the Golden State Warriors, winning 4 NBA titles during that time, soaking up all that knowledge. Then he went on to be a 2-time NBA coach of the year in his own right. Hasn't won the big one, but did take LeBron James and a Cavalier team to the NBA Finals. He also coached Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
He ended a long playoff drought for the Sacramento Kings, so he does come with the credentials.
That's not a bad resume at all.
Exactly.
All right, so the Knicks went to the Eastern Conference Finals with Thibodeau. What's the mandate here for Mike Brown?
I would have to say it's finals or bust.
Yeah.
Finals or it's not a successful season. And you think about it, Jason Tatum of the Celtics, Tyrese Halliburton of the Pacers, they're out pretty much all of next year with a torn Achilles. Darius Garland with the Cavs. So this is a wide open Eastern Conference, and you got to believe that with the moves that the Knicks have made so far in the offseason and with this head coach now, that they will be the favorite to get to the NBA Finals. So just don't mess it up, Mike Brown. You got the squad.
Probably no one is telling himself that more than he is.
Exactly,
right?
man. I mean, you come into a team that went to the Eastern Conference Final, could have gone to the NBA Finals, and they fired their head coach.
Yeah.
And you're the guy that says, sign me up for that.
The stakes
we'll
pretty
see.
high.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you.
So they got their coach and let's see what they can do. So go ahead, Rodney, man. What's your take? Do you think the New York Knicks made a right hire or hiring Mike Brown?
No, to me, I know everybody's favorite Mike Brown, but to me, Tom Thibodeau will always be my top for the New York Knicks. He was the one that was able to put the Knicks last season to the Eastern Conference Final. However, they did not win against the Pacers. That's the only reason why he got fired, because they didn't win against the Pacers. If they would have won against the Pacers, Tom Thibodeau would have still been fired. Now, Mike Brown is a 2-time Coach of the Year coach. So he do have coaching experience. It seemed like he's very disciplined. I think Tom Thibodeau was a guy for the Knicks. I'm being honest. But let's just see how it happened next season. But Tom Thibodeau was the one, to me, was a great hire for the Knicks. I don't see the Knicks going back to the playoffs. I just don't. Even if they go to the playoffs, they won't be going to the third round. I don't see that happening now. They needed Tom Thibodeau for that one. But let's see. Mike Brown might go over there and change things. But let's see. It's still early to call. We will just pay attention when it comes to the aspect of the deadline, on the trade deadline, see if they make some good trade. If they make some good trade, then might be going forward. Go right ahead, Keep your thoughts.
So I'm gonna approach a little bit different. When are we gonna learn that we need to stop hiring these old guys? He's prehistoric. Yes, he might have some good stats back then, but this is a new type of basketball we playing, with mostly shootings involved. A lot of people's not running. They need to take an approach that Boston took. they head coach they had over there was a new guy. He was a new guy. I don't know if he had any balls. I think they need somebody young, fresh, with new ideas, who understands basketball a little bit differently. Not somebody who's been a tenure in the game, because sometimes you tend to lose your sauce. You're not always tend to be great. The system that you built before doesn't work. San Antonio is one of the greatest all-time playing teams ever, but after a while, Popovich wasn't winning anymore. The system just don't work. So they need a young coach to come in there with a new system to retrain these guys to play a new type of basketball.
With this move, if that was the case, they should have kept Tom Thibodeau. What you running? Because I look at Mike Brown. Is he a good coach? Cool. He coached LeBron back in Cleveland. Took it to the Eastern Conference Finals. He was the assistant coach for Golden State Warriors, but they won a championship. That's cool. And then his last job was the Sacramento Kings and everything. That he got up, but it was one year they did pretty good taking the playoffs, and after that he was a dud and everything. But yeah. Even though the East is open next year, because remember Tyus Halliburton, he's out for the next year. So the Pacers, we don't know how they're gonna be. Boston, Jason Tatum, he's out. So we don't know how Boston's gonna be, and then the Pacers are gonna be. So it's open. It is open, but I don't see, for me, they taking Mike Brown. Mike Brown will take it to the next level. And the thing is, with the New York Knicks, they try to play their hand. They thought they could get Thibodeau. All bunch of these coaches will come play for them. They first opted to get Jason Kidd for the Mavericks, but Jason Kidd's the same because he's, they just got Cooper Flag, they got Anthony Davis, got Kyrie Irving. So why they want to leave his job and everything? And there's other coach, and then the next thought other coaches will come, but they didn't do. So it took them a little longer to find somebody, and they had no choice but to me to get Mike Brown and everything. So do the Knicks have the chance to go to the finals? Absolutely, because it's way open for next year. But to me, Mike Brown does this to me. I don't think he's going to take him to the hump. So can he? Sure, but personally, I don't think he's the right coach to take him over the hump. So I think it was a bad hire, and we'll just see what the Knicks going to do next year.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes with the Knicks. And I don't know, man. They should never fire Tom Thibodeau. I think they should have given one more year before they let him go. But however, the Knicks still paying Tom Thibodeau, I think, $30 million? Makes no sense to let the man go. You could have just let him try one more time and see if he was able to
shout
win
out
a championship.
You picking on the seniors. I mean, how can you wrong about that?
Yeah, not that. And not that. On why hire, I was just say it's a great hire. I don't know. I think it was a bad hire to me. But let's see how it goes, man. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, shout out to everybody that's watching all across the board. Shout out to you, Why High, being the first one in the building. The lovely Bobby Brown's also in the building. Shout out to Chelsea Rogers, man. What's going on, Chelsea? That's also in the building right now, watching us on Instagram. Shout out to people right now watching us on X. We can go live, TikTok. You guys always coming through, holding us down. We really do greatly appreciate you guys. Rumble too. Kick, we didn't forget about you guys too, and also Twitch, guys. Make sure you follow. So very important for you guys to follow, so y'all never miss it when we go live. Moving along to money. Money make the world go round. Money makes our pockets fat. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to that aspect of the money, big dog?
Let's get into it. Let's talk about more of these tariffs. So Donald Trump, he's not done with tariffs. Starting today, he will be sending letters to other countries around the world setting the individual tariff rate when it comes to the United States. So, Trump is still doing tariffs, to make it dozens of trading partners regarding the tariffs and everything. So when it comes to other countries, he had a battle with China and Mexico because of other countries. He's setting a standard rate of how it's going to go when it comes to these tariffs. So go ahead, Hakeem. We do have a clip. Go ahead and play it, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Says that he has signed letters to about a dozen trading partners that he will send out tomorrow. So what could this mean for the cost of goods right here at home? ABC's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is following this from Washington. Good morning, Selena.
Hey, Gio, good morning. The bottom line here is get ready for more tariffs. President Trump says starting tomorrow, he'll be sending letters to countries around the world, setting the individual tariff rate that each one will face. And about a dozen letters are expected to go out tomorrow. So for some context here, let's just step back a little. Remember that back in April, President Trump had imposed these steep tariffs on scores of countries. But after the markets tanked, President Trump reverse course and pause those tariffs for 90 days to allow for negotiations. Since then, very few deals have been announced and businesses have been left in limbo, unsure just how much they're going to have to pay for imported goods. So now Trump is saying, though, that these tariffs could range from 10% to a staggering 70%. That is even higher than the rate that he initially proposed. So the question here is, what's the reason for the change? Well, President Trump says there's simply too many countries to negotiate with, and that sending a letter is easier, Gio.
A lot to follow there, Selena, but also we're following that major bill that passed, what the president calls the big, beautiful bill, of course. So what can you tell us about this? Can you walk through some of this with us? Who benefits, who doesn't?
Yeah, Gio, well, there's a lot to get into. This bill is nearly 1,000 pages long, but analysis from the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office finds that the wealthiest Americans will benefit the most, while the lowest income households could lose critical support. So first, if we look at taxes, this bill extends President Trump's 2017 tax cuts, and then workers who get tips or overtime will get a temporary tax break. But it also puts new caps on the amount that students can borrow in federal loans, and it phases out tax credits for green energy.
And what about health insurance? Because so many people are talking about health benefits being impacted here.
Yeah, and this is absolutely critical. Experts say that this is the biggest rollback in federal health support in history. The bill slashes funding for Medicaid, which is estimated to force 11.8 million Americans off of their health care coverage over the next decade. And health experts, Gio, say that the biggest effect there will mostly come from work requirements, not because people aren't working, but because the added red tape and paperwork could cause people to lose their health care. They also expect people to lose access from local health centers shutting down. It also makes it harder for people to get covered under the Affordable Care Act, and it further cuts funding for food assistance programs, Gio.
All right, so much to work through there. All right, Selena Wang, thank you so much for your reporting.
And Gio.
Yeah, so there you have it. So, Donald Trump, he's still, going on with these tariffs, trying to make, as affordable as we can. So go ahead, Ronnie. What's your take about Trump sending letters to these tariffs when it comes to other countries?
I think the letter is like him being professional. Just go ahead and send a letter and let him know, okay, this is what we're doing when it comes to aspect of the tariffs. Of like your country gonna be certain, pretty much being taxed on a certain amount of percentage, and this is what we're looking for. If you're not pretty much gonna be gonna buy it, but let's go ahead and sit down and talk. Pretty much what presidents do all the time: send letters. I don't have an issue with that. I don't know why people making a big deal about it anyway. I'm trying to figure out why is it a big deal. I think that's what like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to have a conference meeting with everybody, so I'm gonna send you guys a letter. Let me know you can be down with the program. Go right ahead, King.
I don't mind that too. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is the cuts to the Medicaid. I don't know how that's going to affect women with kids. I don't know how to affect senior citizens. And that's the thing that I'm the most big about. The cuts with that's going to benefit healthy people. That's always going to be a play. The Democrats do the same thing. Like, I didn't see nothing bother to that. Like, the average American, I don't think maybe not even maybe notice a couple dollars difference. I think that's when we have to practice self-reliance and understand that we have to think out of the box to take care of ourselves. This is no other place. We've been doing this since the 80s. Like, wealthy people, like once you come into the top 10, top 1%, they always benefit from taxes. So you just got to look at it from that play.
Yeah, absolutely. I see no problem with this. Trump, when it comes to these tariffs, he's very serious about changing these tax rates and everything, and he's not going to stop till he think we get the right rate when it comes to these tariffs and everything. So it's just like I said, this is probably going to be maybe all the way to the end of the year process of when he try to fix it and everything. So we probably hear about these tariff rates for the rest of the year because he's going to get as many countries as he can to, hey, we're gonna try to switch things up, and we're gonna have, when it comes to America, we're gonna start something new and fresh and everything. And that's what he's been doing all year since he's been in office.
Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember, click on, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, shout out to everybody watching us all across the board. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in on this lovely fresh start Monday. Moving along to hip hop. Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to aspect of hip hop news? Big dog.
Let's get into it. So have you guys heard of rumors that Cardi B, she had cleaned up her IG pictures with her boyfriend Stephon Diggs, because there's rumor that there's a possibly breakup, and then since that happened, Offset, Cardi B's ex-husband, has went on live, and as we can see, we can see that he's kind of trolling, because that the rumors that might be true, that Cardi B and Stephon Diggs might be breaking up because Cardi has erased their photos. So we do have a clip. Go ahead, Hakeem, play the clip, and after that we'll chop it up.
Know what I mean? Hello. Yeah, Northside baby, man. Y'all niggas can't get rid of me. I'm like cancer, nigga. Know what I mean? You can't get rid of the cancer, you know what I mean? I'm harder than all you pussy. Fuck you talking about, nigga. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Fuck you talking about, nigga. All of my hoes, still my hoes, that's for sure. All of my hoes, still my hoes, that's for sure. All of my hoes, still my hoes, that's for sure. All of my hoes, still my hoes, and they know they still my hoes, you hear me? Got me bad, I'm allergic to that other shit. Top of friends, I was flirting with another bitch. I got some shit around that I could've went. I love a bitch that love a hoe that love. What's up, AZ? What's up, folks? About the mother niggas. Give a fuck about what you did with the mother niggas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are on the blogs. They're really commenting that what Offset's doing. He's really trolling on Cardi. Because of the situation to get the process of divorce and everything, they be bickering at each other when it comes to relationships and everything. So go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take on Offset? You think he's trolling on Cardi because of the alleged rumor of the breakup?
Yeah, I told you guys once in a while, Cardi B is not done with Offset. She's just not done with him. Remember, you got to keep in mind that is her kid's father, 3 of her kids. So you think a woman gonna be done that quickly and move on that fast? I think not. One thing about their relationship, they are in a toxic relationship. She is Cardi B. To me, I think both of them are narcissists anyway. So they make a great couple. And at the end of the day, she loves him. I keep telling y'all, she can move on. Cardi B can move on to any other guy. Offset not going nowhere. One thing I always tell people, true marriage is when you was able to have someone's kid. To me, that's the true definition of marriage. She is stuck with that man for pretty much her rest of her life. She got 3 kids by him. And it might be alleged, they say she might seem like she's pregnant again. Who knows? That's rumor that's going on right now. Online, they say it seems like she's pregnant. I don't think she's pregnant. I think the aspect is she's just not over Offset yet. It's gonna take time. Remember, this year alone, these kids got divorced, so that's not gonna be healed right away. Go right ahead, Hakeem, your thoughts.
This is the type of stuff I look, and it shows a dysfunction that ain't no different you see in a regular relationship on the streets. It's just out in public. I wish they could work this behind closed doors, but at the end of the day, the kids are affected by it. They got kids that are old enough to get on the internet and see what's going on, and his youngest and his oldest understand the situation because they're not in the house with daddy no more. That's really what's the effect behind this.
As we Kim, and I hate to see that, when relationships or marriages, they don't work out, the first thing they do, they glass at each other instead of don't think about the kids and everything. And we haven't seen the last couple months how Cardi B has says that Offset has to see her kids in about a couple months and everything. They've been alleged text messages about Cardi B's Offset sending stuff about just they did in the past and everything. It's a whole bunch of stuff, messy stuff, and I just hope both of them just get really, really mature, get the divorce finalized as soon as they can, and just really focus on the kids. That's what it means. Firstly, the marriage didn't work out and everything. They tried, they've been together for almost 6-7 years now, something like that. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. But to me, it just got to get more mature, be more mature, and hey, we can co-parent as much as we can, but just find a way to start bickering at each other because even though it's getting views like that, when it comes to the kids, it's not gonna be good when it comes in the future.
Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click on because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, shout out to everybody that's watching us all across the board. We really do really appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. You already know it was pretty much 4th of July weekend. A lot of crazy things was happening around 4th of July weekend. So we're going to go ahead and deep dive. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to aspect of, what is the update when it comes to aspect of the Texas flood right now?
Yeah, man. So it's been a crazy and very, very sad weekend when it comes to Texas. If you don't know, it was a bad weather happened in mid Texas. The Guadalupe River, over flood and it hit the campsite, and and then it's been a rise up in death. I believe the death is up to over 80 now, and half of that comes to kids and everything. And it's been one of the most when it comes to weather, such things as this, it's been one of the tragic stories we heard this year so far. So go ahead, Hakeem, go ahead and play the clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Good afternoon. I'm Dana Huey. We are getting new and devastating information about the deadly flash flooding in the Texas Hill Country as the death toll continues to rise, and we get confirmation from Camp Mystic about their campers lost in the floods. We have now learned at least 82 people are dead, including 28 children. Now, keep in mind these numbers are sadly changing as more hours pass since a water wall overtook those along the Guadalupe River, especially in Kerr County. Right now, it's being reported about 41 people are still missing, including campers from Camp Mystic, and the governor is warning of flooding still happening in the area. Now, Camp Mystic confirmed this morning that they are grieving the loss of 27 campers and counselors, and they're in contact with authorities who continue to tirelessly search for their missing girls. In a statement, they said in part, quote, "Our hearts are broken alongside our families that are enduring this unimaginable tragedy. We are praying for them constantly." They went on to say, "We ask for your continued prayers, respect, and privacy for each of our families affected. May the Lord continue to wrap his presence around all of us." Well, Texas is mourning the loss, as we mentioned, of dozens of people now, including those young summer campers. And that number could continue to rise, according to authorities. Nydia Cavazos reports from Kerrville.
Camp Mystic has issued a statement saying it is grieving the loss of 27 campers and counselors who died during the devastating flooding that hit Central Texas over the 4th of July weekend. Officials say the death toll is expected to rise as they continue the desperate search for the missing.
We are still currently in the primary search phase, which is the rapid one. They're running into a lot of technical challenges with terrain, with water, even potentially, with weather.
8-year-old camper Lenny McCown of Austin died in the storm Her father confirmed, as did 18-year-old Chloe Childress, a counselor from the Houston area who had just graduated high school, and Camp Mystic's longtime owner, 74-year-old Dick Eastland.
Thank God my granddaughters are okay.
Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter said his 2 grandchildren survived, but their cousin, 9-year-old Janie Hunt, died. She's related to Kansas City Chiefs owner Clark Hunt.
God has wrapped his arms around her, in our thoughts and prayers with all of them.
In Kerrville, Emily Gutierrez told CBS News her cousin Leo's house was swept from its foundation. She said Leo, his wife, and their 2-year-old son are still missing.
As much as we want to pray and hope, there's only so much a human can actually hold on. All the muck, all the dirty water, all the trash, the trees.
Jessica James says she's volunteering in search and rescue operations.
It's gut-wrenching watching all of this happen. I mean, it happened so fast, and I wanted to come out sooner, but I also didn't want to be in the way of waiting for things to get done.
The floodwater surged early Friday. The National Weather Service says extreme rainfall caused the Guadalupe River to swell more than 20 feet in less than 1 hour. Nidia Cavazos, CBS News, Kerrville, Texas.
Yeah, man, it's very, very devastating. You know, natural disasters can happen, you know, especially in Texas, because, you know, when it rains like hard, you know, it's kind of like Florida, you know, when it rains, you know, hard and it rains long, it kind of floods. But unfortunately, you know, when it comes to this, a lot of people has lost their lives. So go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take on this?
You know, it's Mother Nature at its work, at its best. It is sad just to see things like that. And, you know, I'm just upset at the mayor and the governor, because there was no evacuation warnings for the people that were actually living in the town. And it's just, you know, I'm just trying to be very, very careful on what to say when it comes to the aspect of things like this. Especially when, you know, kids are missing, people are missing, and even though the whole world, even though the whole United States was celebrating, because, you know, it was the birth of our nation on July 4th, and then you have this situation that transpired, which is, it's just heartbreaking. To me, I saw it the next day. That's how you know, like, nobody knew this was actually going on. That's why I was like, man, it's just, you know, my love and my condolences go for the people that were pretty much was affected by this. And you still have kids that's missing, and they can't find them. So it's tough, man. It's tough. Go ahead, okay. It's tough.
You know, my biggest thing is, where was the warnings? You know what I mean? Usually when things like this happen, there's like, you know what I mean? They say, hey, this not looking too good. I think it's time to get everybody out of here. So that's what I'm wondering. Where was the warning? You know, I mean, I do pray over the families and the people who lost a loved one. Plus, this was a girls' camp. So that also hits a little bit different. And, you know what I mean? Imagine people who are not able to swim. And sometimes you can't fight the winds and large materials hitting you, shrapnel, all that. So it is a devastating thing to hear. But I just wondering, like, how can we be, what preventative measures we can take to know that, hey, if it sounds like it's about to get wild, we need to go to higher ground.
Yeah, absolutely, Hakeem. And what it, like Texas, they do experience, you know, natural disaster. They experience hurricanes, you know, they do experience the snow. And with this, you know, they do experience heavy rain when it comes to, like, you know, what happened this weekend. And it's just, you know, sad to hear that all these lives are lost, especially the kids' lives and everything. And, you know, when it comes to, I'm just going to go straight to the governor. The governor has to do a better job when it comes to natural disaster. Telling folks, you know, when it comes to, you know, they have, like when it comes to rain, tornadoes, you know, hurricanes and everything, you know, you got to make sure, you know, if you got to do a state of emergency, go ahead and do that and everything. If the whole state, when it comes to rain and everything, because you know, like I said, I don't think a lot of people don't know, or Texas people know. It's like when it rains if it rains for hours and everything, it's like I said, southern part of Texas, which it happened in right by the counties of San Antonio, that when it comes to the ground they live, it overflows like that. And to me, I don't know I don't know if they had no plan or anything, but it's just like this stuff right here. It should have been prevented somehow in some way, especially around knowing that the rain is coming, and and people didn't know it's going to be like this and everything. So this is very, very heavy to my hearts and our hearts on the show, and we just pray for the families that lost their loved ones, especially the kids, because this is so heartbreaking.
It is. You take your kids to summer camp and they find out they are gone. It's very, very tragic. Shout out to Goddess Forever that's also in the building. She said they're lying. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. We don't have the information. Moving on to other trending news, it seemed like Jordan was going on in Philadelphia. They have an issue over the 4th of July weekend. Go ahead.
Yes. We have two stories. So let's go on the first story. So the first story, let's talk about this. So when it comes to the city in Philadelphia, the city workers they've been on strike for 7 days of trying to get a raise. The mayor offered them 3%, but they want 8%. So they're still on strike, and it's so bad that the city of Philadelphia, around the city, they are seeing piles and piles of trash all over the city. Don't take my word for it. We do have 2 clips for you guys, so go ahead. I can't play the clips, 2 clips, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Love, these sights and smells of summer aren't what residents and tourists had in mind.
It stink, and it's getting worse because of the heat.
That's bad, yeah. People are walking by and holding their nose.
Heaps of trash are piling up across Philadelphia after thousands of city workers walked off the job a week ago.
Philadelphia works because we do.
The city stuck in a standoff over pay with District Council 33, a union representing some 9,000 municipal workers. And the fallout felt over the holiday weekend.
I never, ever, ever want to disappoint my fans.
Hip-hop legend LL Cool J dropping out of a 4th of July concert in a show of solidarity with union workers on the picket line.
There's absolutely no way that I could perform when I know that people are out there fighting for a living wage.
As the city and the union battle over pay raises and benefits, residents are seeing and smelling the effects.
Nobody wants to smell that when they wake up and, come outside for a breath of fresh air.
Hoping for resolution as the grueling strike wears on.
I hope this gets fixed. I hope people get paid more and get rid of the trash and, get back to life.
And a judge has ordered essential union members, including people who work with 911 dispatch and the water department, to continue to work through the strike over safety concerns. The last time this union went on strike was back in 1986, and it lasted nearly 3 weeks. Negotiations are expected to resume soon. Craig.
Emily Aketa there.
Rail!
Right in the trash.
This shit! Look at this shit, Rail! Look at this shit! Look at this shit, Rail! Look! Get the fuck out! Look at this shit, Rail! Look at it! Look! Look at this shit, Rail! Stop fucking playing with it! Get them fucking people their money! You got this shit! Grass, trash! Grass, trash! What the fuck is up? Sherelle, I'm not playing. I done been everywhere. I am the CEO, damn it. Get them fucking people their money, man. Give it to them. Look at this shit. Look, fuck it. Look at this shit. Fuck it. Fuck the 18-wheelers. U-Haul wheelers. Mother. Get this shit. Tired of this shit, bro. Tired of it. Get them their fucking money.
So right side. I never seen all the major cities I've seen on television when it comes to strikes and everything here, like in Los Angeles. Yeah, man, looks like Philly's becoming a trashy city when it comes to this strike of how the city workers want to get paid. So go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take about the city trying to get a pay raise, and we seeing that it's being more and more piled up with trash?
To me, the cost of living is going up. the workers need more better pay wages. I'm not against them going ahead and going on strike to so the commissioner and the governor can offer them more pay wages, especially when it comes to aspect of a waste hazard. Because waste hazard can be very very dangerous, and even though people fail to realize being a garbage man or essential workers, anything when it comes to that aspect, when it comes with trash, to me they should have like better pay wages. I think New York is one of the highest who are paying, like when it comes to disposable trash, like for the garbage man, they are like one of the highest. To me, it makes sense because
They
they
get paid
they
six
taking
figures.
pay, they taking care of people's waste. And, especially when it comes to aspect of safety concern. So I'm with them. And now other people are trending. People are also saying online, because I was reading like different comments about it. A lot of people say, "Oh, robots are coming, so don't worry. We won't need you any. We won't need you any soon." But right now, we need people. We need people quickly to go ahead and pick up that trash immediately. Go ahead, Akin.
So, funny enough, I know a little bit about this because my dad was a sanitation worker for the city of Miami, and they are paid very well. So this shouldn't be a conversation on what they should get paid. Just pay the money. Um, we as humans, we eat and we dispose waste, and we should be like just paying these people here. These I don't call them sanitation. I call them hazardous material handlers because the feces, the weight, these things that people are handling are very dangerous. They make sure it's clean. They make sure you don't smell. I don't think people understand. If you go back to history in the UK, the bubonic plague came from trash and rodents just running around and flies dropping, which nearly decimated half of the population. So people might look at a garbage man and think, oh, they're just picking up garbage. They're more essential than what you think. And to reconfirm what you say, brother, um, the garbage people in New York make 100,000. I think 93,000 was the thing. San Francisco is 76,000. San Jose is 71. Chicago, Illinois is 67. Seattle, Washington is 67. Napa, California, 67, $66,000.
Yeah, absolutely, man. If I'm the mayor, which she want to propose to the 3%, I will be disappointed in myself because the world is the world is seeing, especially in America, and you kind of heard in the tourism when people want to visit Philly, and they see trash all over the city when it comes to the city of Philadelphia. So I don't know what this mayor is doing. Pay what they need to pay for. If you look, like I said, Hakeem stated, because of other city, they pay their workers. Sanitation workers, they do get paid. When it comes to they get paid an amount of good money, which is very, very needed. They help. They do a lot of things. It's kind of essential in a way as well. So, and it's a hard labor job. And also I appreciate, when the trash people they come to in my house or apartment and everything, that they're doing a phenomenal job and everything. People might think it's a disgusting job, which most people think it is, but when it comes to taking our trash out and cleaning the city, it needs to happen. And see Philadelphia, see the city of Philadelphia around the city that certain neighborhoods that smell like trash and everything. Nobody wants, if I'm neighbors don't want to hear that, smell that, all that type of stuff and everything, man. So please, hopefully the strikes will end at the end of this week. Pay their wages so keep the city clean and everything like that, because we're soon probably tomorrow, so we're gonna start seeing rats, rodents and tearing up all that type of stuff and everything. And people don't want to see that. Just pay the workers. Please pay the workers.
Exactly. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Moving along, you already know. Main topic on today's show. So, Jordan, what's going on with the Epstein list?
Yeah, so we have some breaking news today because of that Epstein list. We have been waiting patiently here on the show that if the list is ever gonna come out. But according to the DOJ and the FBI, there is no list whatsoever, and there's no clients that will come to Epstein. And when it comes to his death, that he did pass away when it comes to suicide. So according to the DOJ and FBI, there is no Epstein list. So, we do have a clip when it comes. We do have a clip from the White House. So go ahead, King, play the clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration. And the Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child pornography, which is not something that's appropriate for public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that. That's transparency.
Follow up on that,
Sure.
Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News. Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. They promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
So there you have it. Before I pass to you guys, shout out to Dark Sage from Twitch. He said, here's his 2 cents. He says, rich people do bad things and cover it up. And if the list ever got out, there is no way you can spend that to make yourself look good. He said, I heard rumors that back in 1950s, Epstein's father was on the FBI list in the J. Edgar Hoover office and was incriminated in something, and Eisenhower wanted to take him down, but Hoover said no because it would destroy the DOG and the FBI. So that was shout out to our Dark Stage from Twitch. But go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take on it? Do you feel like the FC list exists? Do you think they're lying?
I told y'all that thing would never be disclosed. I'm sorry, this is not. There's too many high power elites that went to Epstein's party. Now remember, he was the P. Diddy at the time. And remember, he had high power elites from Bill Clinton, some people say Barack Obama, to Donald Trump, allegedly all these people that was actually at his party. So you think they're gonna actually disclose that list? Heck no. FBI directors supposedly was on that list, and some of them other podcasters had an FBI director. Shout out to Joe Rogan. He had an FBI director, and he asked him questions about the Epstein list, and he acted like he didn't know what the heck he was talking about. So that's the aspect when it comes to Epstein. Like, the thing would never be disclosed. So when he went to the grave, it went with him to the grave. So we just leave it as that. So that case is closed. Go ahead, Akeem.
We all knew that this wasn't going to come out. I feared this from the beginning. I said, there's not going to show no list. There probably some names. And what she said is kind of true. If it was graphic like that, it's not good to show those type of things. I don't think we are a nation, even though we expose things, we're just supposed to handle it the way it comes and keep it moving. So I've been knew this wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, and I concur with all three of you. Was I was hoping, but when it comes to a high profile list like that, it will never ever come to light. We will never see a lot of day, unless we get a sort of president who who be in there and put it off and everything. But yeah, man, this list will never come out. We will always be guessing who was on this client list and everything. But unfortunately, with stuff like this, when it comes to the feds and FBI, because they have been saying that a list will come out that one of the people in the White Office they had it on the desk as well. But when it comes to this stuff like this, it will never come out. We will never see in the day of light. So we always can think about who's be on the list and everything, but for in our lifetime, this list will never ever come out.
Not that, but even the story, even his death didn't make any sense.
Right.
So it just show you that it's a cover up. It would never come out. I'm sorry, it was just never come out. Too many high power elites that people don't even name, that people never even heard of, is on that list. So think about it. That is long and gone. But shout out to that Twitch subscriber that also gave us a good breakdown. Good breakdown. Like that. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Shout out to everybody watching us all across the board. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in with us on this Fresh Start Monday. Moving along to other trending news. So Jordan, more situations going down in Philadelphia this weekend. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so it's been going back into the weekend in the city of Philadelphia. That's been a Philadelphia neighborhood has been a big shootout, and it left 3 people deceased and also at least 10 people injured. Sad story. So go ahead, Hakeem. We do have a clip, so we'll go ahead and play in the clip, and then we'll chop it up.
Early this morning in the Grace Ferry section of South Philadelphia left 3 people dead and 10 others injured. CBS News Philadelphia reporter Nikki Dementri has the very latest.
We know at this hour 13 people were injured, including 12 of them who were shot. Now, this is the second mass shooting the city has seen in 48 hours. Taking a look from this morning, you can see the scene is still active as investigators were trying to piece together what happened on the 1500 block of South Edding Street. Philadelphia police say 3 young men died. The victims range in age from 15 to 24 years old. Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel shared officers had responded to this block on Saturday for what he called some issues, and it did result in arrests at the time. The following night, Bethel adds multiple shooters opened fire on this block while it was packed with people.
This is coward, wannabe thug stuff. This is stuff that, it's hard to understand why individuals engage in this behavior. But as we do in all of our investigations, we will get to the root cause and we will bring those individuals to justice.
On Saturday morning, a different mass shooting happened outside of a South Philadelphia nightclub. 8 victims were shot after Philadelphia police say a security guard opened fire following an argument that turned into a fight with knives. Both investigations are open and remain active. At police headquarters, Nikki Dementri, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Yeah, man. So it's a lot of things going on in the city of Philadelphia, man. And hearing this is unfortunate. So go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take?
And I got a shout out to New York. New York had no crime during the 4th of July weekend. Shout out to New York, because New York was always known for something going crazy, something holding down. So whatever New York doing, Philadelphia need to do, because that don't make any sense. And not only that, because I know Hakeem been in Philadelphia. That's a black neighborhood.
It's a black city. It is it's 90% black.
There you go.
Very segregated. But the culture has shifted in Philadelphia. It wasn't like that. It's a very Muslim culture. So it's just shocked to see that most of them people who are picking up guns are Muslims. They're Muslims. So This is why I don't care when they start sending people to prison and start putting people to the death penalty. We need to do to start the curve. You pick up a hammer, you want to do this, you need to go to prison for life. You need to be in a 6x9 cell for life.
Yes. Yeah, because to me, what happened with Philadelphia to me makes no sense, and it's very sickening. It's sad because remember we supposed to be a generation of trying to move forward, not go backwards. Doing a mass shooting, going drive by, trying to make a show out of things, trying to scare people. They need to go. They need to be under the bridge, completely under the bridge. Go ahead, Jordan. Your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's every year we talk about Philly or we talk about Chicago or another city where, St. Louis, when, when it comes to the 4th of July weekend, we'll hear stuff like this coming in the news, and it might hit locally, it might hit nationally and everything. But yeah, man, it's just, I'm tired. I know we all tired of seeing this stuff, especially happening the 4th of July, and it's like if you're in some type of hood and in different cities and everything, you always gonna, when it comes to 4th of July, if you're in the wrong side of town, something like this is gonna happen and everything. And it's just unfortunate that, it happens, every other year when it comes to other cities. But yeah, you're right about Ronnie. Shout out to New York. And you talk about 5 boroughs, Brooklyn and the Bronx, no type of shootings. Yo, I want to know what New York did to tank something like this, because I think Philly, especially Chicago and other cities, should be looking at what New York did of not having a single shooting when it comes to a city like that, because that's just amazing. But yeah, Philly, man, y'all got to do better.
Got to do better. Moving along to other trending news, Jordan. So, what's going on with the Black family reunion? It is down.
Yeah, so there is a statistic when it comes to family reunions that Black family reunions are down 44%. Many people claim that the dynamic of their families changed once the grandparents have passed away, and after that, they're not really. After the grandparents passed away, they're not really pushing the tradition of having family reunions either every year or every other year, and it's it looks like it's continued to continue to go up, when it comes to Black families, which is, to me, this is sad to hear. But going by looking at statistics, you guys, I'm gonna cover you, Ronnie. What's your take about looking at this statistic when it comes to family unions are going down at an extreme rate? That's 44%.
People might ridicule me for this, but I think people don't value family anymore like they used to back in the days. I remember growing up, people used to remember there used to be a lot of family parties, a lot of family gatherings, a lot of meeting them, having fun. People not doing that anymore. A lot of people are home on social media. Social media is a pandemic when it comes to aspect of social media, because I think what plays a part too, Jordan Hakeem, I think the pandemic plays a part too as well, because everybody was quarantined, everybody was separated, so people have not letting go of that pandemic atmosphere of coming together and have parties. Like I did the last family gathering I had a couple of weeks ago with my family. We continue to do it, but I think more Islanders are doing it, Jordan. I think people that like more like Americanized, they're not really doing it as much. But a lot of Islanders are really doing it, like the Cubans, the Hispanic people, the Mexicans, Haitian people do it too a lot. They do a lot of family gathering, but I haven't seen a lot when it comes to aspect of African American. And I think because the whole aspect of it is probably because of the grandparent, and also because of the pandemic, everything was quarantined. It just messed up a lot of people's psyche. Go ahead, Akeem, your thoughts.
So grandma them was the one who kept the family together. The question is, who's going to take the mantle once the pass on? If grandma's the only person that keeps the family together, then the family it's just smoke and mirrors. If you're family, you got to be family to the point where you're hanging out with your cousins, you chilling out with your nieces and nephews. Grandma shouldn't be the only one. She should be the example, but grandma kept the glue for a lot of things. And a lot of us don't like our family members. So we stay away from them, but we see them on holidays. It shouldn't be only holidays you see them. So this is why I say that from the 70s, from the 60s, 70s to the 80s, more people were a lot family oriented. And Ron, I'm gonna agree with you. Caribbeans, in some sincerity, have a tight knit because it's a small group of people that came here from places, and they're still the same people that are together.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't, but us who getting older, we need to replace certain things. And let's be honest about it. We have brothers and sisters, right? When the last time y'all went and visited your brother and sister to their house?
Mine was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, what about you, Jordan?
Last time I saw my brother when I went to Michigan.
When you went to Michigan?
That was my daughter's birthday, and all my family got together.
We got together. Some people haven't seen their brothers in 6, 7 months. Some people ain't see their sisters 8, 9 months. Some people ain't speak to their daddies or mama in a year. We're in a generation where we're going no content. You're never going to win like that. And that's what I'm saying.
Issues, facts.
Yo,
and the thing is, fellas, it's like, we have things that will keep us family together. Like, for instance, there's apps that keep us together. For instance, we have Telegram, we have WhatsApp. I use these apps to stick with my family and everything. I just came out from a trip, a family unit trip from Orlando and everything. And what we do right here, we plan stuff. This is I don't know if y'all can see and everything. How we had a great family trip. We had an awesome family trip. I do have some pictures of my family. This is from a Florida trip, of my aunties, my cousins. I got another one with my mom. Here's me with my mom, my wife, and my mom, my wife, and me. My daughter was sleeping and everything. And to me, I come in a tight knit family. We plan stuff all the time. Even though I'm out here in California, I'm always in the loop of what's going on with my family because we have an app when it comes WhatsApp and everything. And I feel like, our generation, we got so many things to keep us together, especially with these apps that, we all the family can send it to text messages and add in and everything. And all you got, and the thing is, you can text, say, hey, good morning, from California, good morning to Florida, and that's all you got to do. And then if you guys want to plan something like a family reunion, which we're planning to do another one next year in a different city and everything, I found like there's so much joy to be around family because family always has your back and everything, and you can see, for your grandparents, your cousins, your aunties, and also the new generations, for my daughters and my nieces and nephews and everything, and it's a good thing to see. And we were our family, you always have fun and everything. So this is very, very sad to see. And, there should be no excuse about that. We got too many sources that we could use, especially, when it comes to texting or make a group chat that keep families together and everything. And when it comes to unresolved issues like that, my thing is some unresolved issues, fellas, it could be something that's very, very small, which, it could be easily fixed because some person might be think they're mad about something, not really mad at it and everything. And really talking about it, can really help the things out and everything. So, like I said, it's very sad to see something like this. And hopefully, we can, as in our Black community, we can definitely fix it because when it comes to in the Black community family, we're when it comes to family, we're like, you go to generations and everything. We always like. We hear about family reunions, just in general, I think about Black family reunions. We've seen this back in the 90s and 80s. And I feel like, millennials and Generation Zs and beyond need to find a way to fix this and make sure to bring family back together again.
No, but the issue we're having is because of Black, especially when it comes to aspect of the Black community, we are very dysfunctional. It's a lot of unresolved issues. A lot of us don't believe it. Some of us don't even believe in therapy. So a lot of that plays a part. So people just don't go to family gatherings anymore. I rarely hear about somebody say, I'm going to a family reunion. I'm just being honest. Why I say funerals are the new family reunion. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, I totally agree with you 110%.
Yep.
That's the only time that people are like, oh, man, I knew I should have went and go see Grandpapa.
Yep, But honestly, too, this is why I say seeing your family once a year can't be the thing anymore. As grandma and them, it's so easily to drift apart when the main people are not around anymore. That means that the relationship wasn't tight in the beginning. So if your brother ain't calling you to be like, hey, I need you help to come do something. Granted, everybody got their own life to live. Some people move away for jobs and stuff like that, but then you also got to say, oh, I want to go see my sister today, or your sister come down and see you. That's the only way it's going to stay surviving. Because when we start down, and you need to be able to show the kids that, so the kids won't drift off.
It's very important. Very important.
You know what I mean? Because they'll get into it. And listen, the easiest way you see people drift off, they'll get into a relationship and they'll forget about that they have an immediate family.
Yeah, and now that shout out to Jabal is also the bill watching us for Instagram. He said, "Them grandparents hold the family together. Without it, there's no unity." So a lot of people believe that, especially if you African American, actually was born here in America. They know how important grandparents are. You know, fortunately, I never met my grandparents, but however, I do have other people I used to hang with, and I treat their grandparents as mine because I used to go chill with them a lot, and they are no longer here. I'm tell you the truth, they move on. The families tend to not stick together, but I've seen that a lot in Aspen when it comes to Caribbean family. They do stick together no matter what. Go ahead, King.
Let's even be real and say this, that the grandmothers are the main mothers in the community.
Yeah.
Not the actual mama. When you hear a lot of black people, they say grandma raised me.
Yep.
And this is why it's hard. It hits a little bit different when grandma not there. The cooking, the smell, the stuff she tells you, the things she tell you not to do, you always refer back to grandma now. So, and she's the reason why you ain't beat your brother up or your cousin.
Yeah, you right about Hakeem. Like my grandmother, my great grandmother had 9 kids. My grandmother, she's the elder. She's the oldest. She's 75. And unfortunately, she couldn't make it to the Foreman family trip, because she had some things going on with health wise and everything. But when she's up, like she'll go to trips, and also she'll be with my mom and come visit me and everything. And she's trying to do that again later on this year and everything once it get fixed and everything. So yeah, family is strong and everything. You right about Hakeem. When it comes to grandmothers, my grandmother, when it comes to grandkids, they love their grandkids.
Yeah.
So they love their grandkids more than their damn kids. Their own damn kids.
No, but I'm telling you, man, family is all you got, man. I told people you gotta keep it going. You gotta keep it going. Grandma's not here, grandpa's not here, but you gotta keep it. I'm telling you, life is really short. As you can see what happened with Texas, Philadelphia over the weekend. Family's all you got at the end of the day. That's all you got. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Last time on today's show, Jordan, what's going on with Rush Hour?
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, next time you watch Rush Hour on your TV screen, whatever, they have a new contact warning before opening credits that says, I'm sorry, let me click on it. That says, we all love our 90s buddies comedies, but this movie was created in a different time. FYI, certain languages humor may seem outdated and times that offensive. So this really goes to go to our young generation Z's and everything, because a lot of people would say that young generations are a little bit softer than the millennials and the generations X's. And now we see that, when it comes to movies like Rush Hour, and we might see more movies when it comes to humor that Generation Z's and young generation, they might feel some type of way when it comes to certain humor that we used to enjoy back in the 90s and 2000s. So with that being that, Ronnie, what's your take on this? We seen some of these movies are showing, they got to put warnings when it comes to young generations.
This generation is too sensitive. To me, it makes no sense. Play the movie. They're going to see scary movies over there in the movie theaters, and also on Netflix, and also on other TV shows. Just go ahead and play the movie. This generation is way too sensitive. You gotta say you have one comedian. You already know Chris Tucker is very funny. He's a comedian. That's what they do. Their human joke is to be funny, is to make you laugh, but not to take it personal. That's his job, and that's a '90s movie. It's a classic, especially the first Rush Hour. So to me, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Go ahead, Hakeem, your thought.
Yeah, so time has changed. And what was said in the beginning back in the days is not going to be accepted today. So I can only imagine why they had to give a disclaimer, because people are so butthurt about comedy like that.
I'll just say this: comedy is not comedy no more. We can't laugh. We can't laugh at anything. I don't know anything that that's when it comes to certain things that we used to saw in the 90s, 2000s, and everything. People, they just when you talk about somebody, they get hurt, especially these younger generation. And we can't laugh like we used to and everything, And we see a lot of these comedians, they can't do a lot of these comedians back in the 90s, 2000s. They forced not to do stand up anymore because how the generation has changed and everything, and been so sensitive that they can't say things like they used to back 10, 15, 20 years ago and everything. So now that we're seeing that, we start seeing the movies and Rush Hour and everything. So yeah, to me, it's just very, very soft. And hopefully my daughter, she has a good sister who was back in the 90s and 2000 and everything, because it just shows to us, we're just in a different time, and a lot of people, they think it's funny, they get hurt, and that's how they feel.
Like, share, subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click on, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Like always, shout out to everybody watching us all across the board. We truly greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. Shout out to Why High. Shout out to the lovely Bobby Brown, also in the building. Shout out to the Twitch subscriber, also was in the building. Dark Stage was also in the building. Shout out to Mama Garcia was also in the building. Hakeem's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And I shout out to Jabari was also in the building. Shout out to Jay. Traveling with Jay is also in the building. Shout out to Stephanie Walker was also in the building. Shout out to Chelsea Rogers also in the building. Shout out to you guys watching us on TikTok, Twitter, X. Man, you guys, Rumble, Kick. You already know Twitch. You always on Bingo Live. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really do greatly appreciate you guys. Like always, guys, so very important. Go to KL Culture Radio description. In the description where you can find the KL Culture Radio store, where we have the KL Culture Radio t-shirt, the KL Culture Radio hat, and also the KL Culture Radio coffee mug. It's all in the KL Culture Radio store. It's in the description. And also, people, if you're watching this too, you might see the little sticker that you can just click to it and it leads you guys right over to the store. Make sure you also go to KL Culture Radio community post, where we post important information about us going live and upcoming events. And also, Prince Hakeem new book, you already know, Racing King, out now. So guys, go ahead and copy yourself a copy. I have a copy. So guys, make sure y'all go and check it out. It's a great read. It talks about young black men, especially them growing up as being kings. Also, Prince Hakeem album is out now too as well, guys. The album's in the back. It's all in the community post. Y'all can go check it out on KL Culture Radio page on YouTube. I'm just letting y'all know we're here right now watching those on Bingo Live and also TikTok. Like always, guys, so greatly appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. We really do greatly appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Vertical Live Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio. You over and out.